Warning. School buses. Reviews. Master of Minecraft. Ready to play every day.
Good morning, people of Internet Land. LMD Productions quote right there, if you know, you know. You join me with Bus 972, the 2017 Bluebird Vision. We are going to do a later morning route today. A little bit later for some reason. They've delayed school for this area for some reason. So, I just checked under the hood. Everything checks out. So now I'm going to start the bus. And we'll do a pre-trip. I am going to turn one of these down. I'm going to turn my desktop audio down because when I have it all the way up and the bus cranks up, it tends to lag out the mic audio. Let's see how bad it gets. Okay, the levels seem to be pretty balanced. I don't have a way of actually hearing it until I review the video, so I'm just gonna wing it with just looking at the bars and make sure the desktop stays in green and the mic can be all the way up. Do some fast title for you. As we all know, the light check buttons on these Bluebirds tend to never work, so I'm going to do what LMD does, and I'm just going to manually turn on each light. So I'll check my ambers. It's flashing down there. And I already know they work on the front because I saw them this morning working. Or not this morning, yesterday morning. And they're working right here in the front, on the back. The door open, lights flashing down there. Typical Bluebird slow turn signal. It's a lot faster than that on actual Bluebirds. It's a lot faster, but for some reason on this bus it's like really slow for some reason. I can't remember if it's normally like that or not. I'll have to go back and look at another video I did with this bus and see. I don't think it is. I think that's just my computer lag. Because it freezes up sometimes. For some reason the clearance light turned on. Even though I've got my lights on. The clearance light's on. Right. Let me ask this guy here in the chat real quick. It seems like I can learn to spell the word clearance lights. So I'll see if that guy responds. I'm not doing a live stream or anything because I think it is the lag because that guy is lagging down there, if you can see. But I'm just going to go ahead and roll with it and see what this guy says. The emergency door's working. Yeah, I can see even the light above the emergency door ain't working. So I don't know what's going on. Normally the clearance lights on this bus work, but my controller just went off because it's got a battery timeout. Yeah, that's the other thing I was going to say. I'm testing out my Xbox controller, just going to see how it works. I'm going to attempt to drive the bus with it, but the viewing angles are going to be a little weird. So I'll probably only use it for braking and accelerating. I'm not sure. Okay, now I cannot get this door shut. I can't shut the door. Okay. I can't close the emergency door. That's great. There we go. Someone needs to recalibrate that angle. Sue Dillon, I think that's how you say it. Just said I want one so bad. Emperor said or yeah, I guess that's how they say it now. Oh look, there's a C2 for you. You don't see that much on this game. Because he's speeding, of course. There's a Bluebird. You see those a lot. And internationals. The Thomases in this game, the C2s, you gotta buy those. Like if I go and look in the bus thing here, well, I have to despawn my bus, so I'll do that later. But some of the newer internationals and the newer Bluebirds we have, you gotta buy them. And all the C2s that Thomas makes, you gotta buy them, like in this game. I have Robux, but I don't know if I have enough to actually buy a C2 on here. You'll notice one of the updates they did is they, let me kill these lights. They added the, option, I literally done that. They added the option to where you can control the buses with a mobile device. That's why there's a whole bunch of buttons here. Because if I'm playing this on my phone, I can control all the functions of the bus with the buttons. Personally, I don't... Please don't crash me. 977, thank you. You come real close to crashing me, 977. Personally, I don't think... I mean, I like the ability where I can do it with my phone, because used to it, I have to connect my PS controller to my phone, so I have a PlayStation backbone controller you can connect to the phone. You can, like, basically turn your phone to a portable PlayStation. But, or it's like a PlayStation controller with a screen. I normally would just control the bus with that, but all the buttons just been getting too confusing. I don't remember which one does what. And in this, I actually like, but I found that actually driving these buses with those touch buttons, it's just really hard. It's just kind of hard to do. There's 977 again. Or is that 977? One of those buses is 977, I think. But obviously I'm 972. But I just think it's easier for me to actually drive the bus with the keyboard buttons. I think I drove it with the controller one time, but every time I pushed the brake or something, the camera would keep adjusting itself. It was weird. So I'm going to go do a route. Here's what I mean by the lag. Of course it does this when I'm making a video. My computer, I don't know if it's this game or if it's the computer. The game doesn't normally lag. So I think it's something with my computer. And I'm willing to bet it is something with the computer. I need to get the right way because some of my students live in down this way. There's an international, ICCE. Come on, turn signal. That's another thing. When I turn on the turn signals on the mobile controls, they don't automatically turn off. So like I can push the turn signal, click it on, but then when I turn, you gotta manually click it off. Whereas with the keyboard here, it'll manually click off, it'll automatically click off anytime I push the corresponding key that makes the bus turn. So, I don't know why it's lagging like this though, it's normally not like that. It is starting to lag a little bit too, like when I'm turning. This is the older neighborhoods. This isn't the part of the new neighborhoods they built. Actually, while I'm at it. Sorry about that, guys. The microphone cut out, and I almost went fits over age on the computer. Yes, I'll cut that part out. Yeah, my computer pisses me off sometimes. More often than not lately, because it, has decided it's going to go through a PMS phase, of constantly crashing out, and not rebooting half the time, and just randomly, crashing and going out and booting back up whenever the heck it feels like it when it's unplugged, so. I guess computers now have a PMS phase, or like a pre-menopause, I don't know. All I know is that PMS would really explain the situation of my computer, because that's what it seems like it's going through. More often than not. Because that's what I deal with this thing on a daily basis. For those of you younger people in the comments asking what PMS is, you'll learn about it when you're older. More specifically in middle school and high school. If you take middle and high school health class. You'll learn about it then when you're older. As I'm not, because this is a kid-friendly channel, I'm not going to explain the meaning of PMS. And I would prefer that other people in the comments don't explain what it is either. If you know it, that's fine. Just don't go explain to it in the comments what it means, because we have little kids that watch this channel. We don't need them all of a sudden knowing things that they don't need to know at an early age. It's just to keep the channel healthy and running smoothly and all that. You also notice since the last time I drove this bus, they have replaced the turbo in this thing, along with the entire transmission and drive shaft flywheel. And the reason for that is because around last year, while I was taking another bus on a field trip, I had to drive that as a route bus because I didn't have enough time to go back and switch the bus out. Although if I needed fuel, that would have been a good excuse, but I didn't need fuel. So I just drove the trip bus as on a route. And apparently during that process, 972 decided to have a peri-PMS phase and basically do everything my computer's doing, throwing stop engine lights and all this other crap. And that's how I got spare bus 867 for like the remainder of the school year, because this bus decided to basically have a crash out freak show. Sorry guys, this microphone keeps cutting out. I had to finally just disconnect it. I think my USB hub is the problem. Ever since I moved my setup to the other side of the room, this hub has been basically having a freaking crash out session as well. There's another bluebird. But back to the story on the turbo. Oh, there's two of them, I think, or is it international? They're both bluebirds. They also replaced the horn, and I do not like it. I mean, I like the sound of the horn, but I don't like the fact you gotta hold it for longer when you're, it's like, I don't know. But anyway, back to the story of the bus. So, basically, it's kind of like when 99 blew its turbo. If any of you are familiar with the LMD Productions, you'll know that video we made back in December where 99's, where we all thought it was a turbo, but it happened to be an electrical issue. Yeah, well that kind of happened in 972, except it wasn't an electrical problem. It was the actual turbo assembly, and just about every other thing that went with it, because why not? So, phone's blowing up over here. Actually, speaking of that, Lane just sent me a video on Instagram. I'll watch it in a little bit, after I include this video, or if I can get to a stopping point. But anyway, this bus had a slight phase of not working correctly, and it was throwing all the engine stop lights, So they decided to bring it in. They had to have it towed in. And then that driver that was driving this bus for the day drove 867 for the remainder of the route. And then that's how I ended up with 867 for the remainder of that school year. Because they couldn't figure out what the heck was wrong with this bus. And apparently it happened to almost every one of our Bluebirds conveniently. So they had to basically take every Bluebird in to have it fixed for the June portion of the summer. Then all the internationals started having that problem, except it was a little bit different because they're Maxxforce, and Maxxforce is garbage. So they had to take all the internationals in to get new engines. So it was just crazy. What's going on here? Oh crap, did I just go the wrong way? I hope I didn't. If there's a roundabout, I might have just went the wrong way. No, I don't think I did. Honestly, I don't even remember where I'm going. Actually, I think I do know where I'm going. It's a shortcut. Or not. Where the heck am I? Where the heck am I? Oh, okay, I'm back on the, this better be the road I started out on. Where the heck am I? Uh-oh. We might be in for a little bit of a situation. 972 to Station 1. I'm lost. Alright, well, I'm just gonna wing it and try and go the other direction from where I came. So I'm just gonna go back down this road here. Oh, wait, there's a bridge up here, I think. Oh, is this familiar? Oh, crap, it's a tiny bridge. Alright. I think I went the wrong way. Frick me. Well, at least now I know the backside of this town. Alright, so we are just going to... Of course, the kids are going to be very late to school. Of course, happens on a morning route. Okay, maybe this way... Oh, here's the roundabout. Now I know where I'm at. Okay. Whew, thank God. There's the roundabout. So, I should have came out at either this street or the street down there. And I made a wrong turn. Okay. Frick me. Yeah, I should have turned to the street down there. Okay. So we'll just go to the high school now. And then the other high school, the old one, it's down that, if you make a left down Cross Street there. Now, conveniently, what that roundabout is, it used to be a four-way if you went further up, and it went directly to that school, and you could cut through a bunch of neighborhoods and stuff. Is that 977? Yep, sure is. There's 977. I wonder if 977 is going to the high school, too. But anyway, they built this new one here. When they built the second development of this area. And this light is also one of the lights that likes to stay red forever if you're on this side of the street, so perks of being a bus driver, I guess. One time I actually heard a driver call on the radio that said the red light was stuck, like, red, and actually to set their parking brake, they actually shut the bus off and was reading it, but it was crazy. Of course, the arrow's green before the light turns green. Luckily, these kids don't have to be here till the deadline is like 10:30. But I typically get here, if we have a day like this, I typically get here, really I'd already be parking by now. But, because I got that little 20-second incident where I got lost, But it's all good. We made it out alive, you know. And we're not even late. We're still very early, which I guess is another good reason I came early. Because you always gotta prepare for when you're gonna make a wrong turn and get lost. And funny story, actually, Lane on LMD Productions actually got lost one time. He has a, I can't memorize the exact vlog, the bus vlog off my top of my head that he made where he said it. There's been a couple of them he's mentioned it, but he actually got lost one time doing a, when he was just starting out as a bus driver and he was still subbing. He actually got lost on one side of town. So basically, it's the whatever bus he was on, he would have to say that bus number and then station 1, I'm lost. So he did a live stream. I'll park here. He did a live stream. Him and Dave on Bus Vibes. They did a live stream together to celebrate Lane 10K subscribers. And one person in the chat, I kid you not, literally put in parentheses 171 to station 1, I'm lost. It was so funny. One person's like, and then Dave's he's thinking about doing a merch store, and so one person commented on that and said, if they do a merch store, tell Lane to make a shirt that says 116 to stat, shut up, because it's like the radio chatter, and he has to yell shut up at it on his videos. If you know, you know. So I mean, I found that to be kind of funny. I'll put the links to both of their channels, and, well, actually, it'll pop up at the end of the video, but I'll still put the links in the description, and I'll also put the link to, could you not? It's not that Bluebird, it's the International next to that Bluebird next. I bet it's 922. Yep, I think so. Yeah, I think it looked like 922. Apparently, 922 doesn't know how to turn off their child's check alarm, so you know, give credit where credit's due, I guess. Anyway, I'll link their channels in my description box. It'll also pop up in the at the end of this video. I'll also link the live stream, the video for the live stream that they did on Lane's channel. I'll link that in the description, as well as one of the latest bus vlogs that they did for both of the channels. So I have a little bit of a Lane deal going on in the description box. If you watch my videos, you know. But if this is like the first time you've watched this channel, normally at the end of these videos, usually about the last 5 or 10, maybe 15 seconds before the video stops, a couple of things will pop up on the screen. You'll have, I think one is a video, like one of my latest videos or something like that, I think I've set. One is an option to subscribe to my channel, this channel, the main one. One's another option, the one with the school bus, that's the one to subscribe to the second channel. And then, I also have the ones where you can subscribe to Lane's channel and Dave's channel as well. We'll go ahead and go back to the yard. Well, first I'm going to do a child check. But I'm going to do that not in the parking lot. Horn, please. Okay. There we go. Oh god. Yeah, 972 has a habit of freezing up and the horn constantly doesn't work. It's the Roblox glitch. Alright, so I'm going to actually just kind of pull off to the side here, and then what I do is I back in. Well, everything will start beeping here in a minute, I'm sure. For some reason, the sound just went out. That's great. I'll just back in here. Now it sounds back. And eventually, when this computer decides to stop lagging, thank you, I'm going to shut down and do my child check. I meant to put the hazards on, but I'll do that. I'm not gonna do that right now. I'm parked in a spot where I don't need to move or anything, so we're good. We're just gonna check the bars. Check old 972. And put empty bus sign in the window. Shout checkmate. And just because I have a habit of doing it. Okay. The child check alarm's not going on. There we go. Yeah, this bus is finicky. For sometimes, because like on the old Internationals, you gotta lift the back door handle to stop the alarm. On this one, it's weird, because normally that button stops the alarm. Sometimes it freezes up, and you gotta do the back door thing on this one. Even though this is a Bluebird, you gotta do that back door thing to get it to actually shut up. I'll vent the hatches here. That's another update they did. They actually they updated this where we can actually open up the hatches like in an emergency now, so you can actually open them up, and I'll show you on the back too. But they have to be fully vented in order for it to work, and they can't be shut. Slides that back. Like if I try to do it with it closed, it won't do it. It has to be fully vented. It's like if it's angled, it won't work. But if you have to have it, just like how you would on a typical school bus, you gotta have it fully vented, and then you can unlatch it and open it. And then you just gotta remember to latch it back when you go to close it. All vented so that we have some air coming out. Then we have the air swooshing in the front and swiping out the back. That was a terrible way of abbreviating that. The air comes flying in the front and swooshing out the back. That's better. Or you know, to really make it go with the theme of this, the air comes flying in the front and blazes out the back. And then you kind of get it, you know, rhyming. Well, not rhyming, but like you get it. The words kind of match better. You know what I mean. Crank her on up. And it's gonna freeze again. In the wintertime, I call this bus Old Miss Cranky because she can be a little cranky sometimes, but that Cummins powerful engine still has the decency to actually start. Though those Maxxforce engines are a real bitch to start up in the winter. I'll bleep that part out. Because, again, family friendly. Horn. Beep beep. That's getting close. I'm not gonna fiddle the horn. There we go, that works. A lot of you have asked about this wigwag warning device here, the one for the air. That has been down forever. Apparently they don't seem to work anymore. So, I guess they took that functionality out and they just left the actual device, because apparently that hasn't worked since, I think, 2017, I think. Maybe. Actually, no, I take that back. Ever since they took the air, because that's another thing, when they removed, one of their updates on this, they removed the thing where, like, where you had to wait for the buses to build air. That's, when they removed, because used to, when that was there, once the bus would get above that certain air level, I think it was above, like, 45 or 60 or something like that, that wigwag would actually automatically fold back up, but ever since they took that out, the thing's been sucked down like that, so. Actually, one of my previous videos with this bus, and I'll make a playlist, I think I might already have one, of me driving this bus. So far, I've only got two. The previous one and this one. And a few more I just haven't edited. The last video that I've actually uploaded with this bus, you'll notice it was back in, I think, was it last year? Or I don't remember right off the top of my head. But it's when it still had the air thing. So like right where not in the actual dash of the bus, but like on the little, where I'm clicking it, the dash, where the gauges pop up on the actual screen. The actually like 100% fully functioning ones, right in between the tachometer and and the speedometer, there above it there was a air PSI, like a number, and it would say PSI, and then it would have like a certain number, and then the wigwag would pop automatically, it'd go up, and ever since I took that out in the recent update, the stupid thing's been stuck down, so I don't know if you're supposed to turn right on red in this slide or not, but I'm gonna do it. And now they've made it where you used to you could enter like right here. Now you gotta go all the way down to this road. I'll go all the way down this road because I'll tell you why. You gotta turn in here because they have added a transportation department, of course, in International here. What was that, 923? Yeah. Or is it 823? 923. Hello, 923. They have added the transportation depot is right across the street from the actual bus yard. So, it's pretty cool. They got like a bus driver lounging area in there. I don't know if I've ever made a video. I don't think I have because we didn't have that last time I made a video of this. Or I might have made a video of it previously. I just haven't. It's been so long I haven't edited yet because we all know this computer has been literally fighting the battle of death and Satan with me because if you're gonna... Okay, you put your tricycle on. You're gonna hit the curb, 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 maybe not. Yeah, you are. Must be a newbie. Not to offend anybody or anything, but I'm just saying, must be a newbie driver. That's fine, though. When I started out driving this bus, I was like that too. You're clear. Let's go. Thank you. Not an offense set. The driver or anything, but I can kind of see why they're driving slow, and that's because they have an International with big, crazy, bullcrap Maxxforce engine. Because if I remember correctly, 923 is a 2011. No, it isn't. It's a 2014 International. Please tell me you did not just park there. No, of course. 923 is a 2011 Maxxforce. 2011 International with the Maxxforce, it actually still had the DT. Hello. LMD Productions, if you're watching this video, you think you got some crazy drivers in LCS, check out the ones here. Okay, we're gonna go in the exit. We're gonna go in the wrong way. I'm not going to sit there and wait for this guy to do whatever, finish whatever he's doing. Anywho, but yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the Maxxforce DT, they put on the Internationals from about 2009, I think. Maybe in 08. But I think it was 09 to 2011 is when they stopped putting them on the Internationals. And then, I'm further down, I think. You know what? I'm a stupid idiot. I'm over there by the bay doors. And then in 2012, I believe it was, they went to an update. They International called it an updated version. Oh, no, I'm not over here by the bay doors. When you've only been driving a bus for the second year in a row, and it's only the first month of the school year, and you already forget where your bus is supposed to be parked. The joys of a bus driver. But anyway, in 2012, I believe it was, Maxxforce redesigned their Maxxforce, good lord. International came out with an updated version of the Maxxforce engine, which was even more worse, and they named it the Maxxforce 7. Not sure where the... Did I just pass? I sure did. I'm an idiot. This is what I get for talking to a camera while I'm driving a bus. I'm not really talking to a camera, I'm talking to a computer while I'm driving the bus. But I also wish they'd make these spot numbers a little bit bigger or something. Because see, here's the thing, right here, it goes straight from 959 to 970. And then all the 960s and all that, I don't even know if we have any, but if we do, they would be somewhere else. And it's really weird. But that's also another thing, is they moved, in their last update, they moved the spot where my bus parks. Because it used to, I think it used to face the shop doors. I'll have to go back and look at another video. but I think it faced the shop doors, and now it faces straight to the exit. So, I think they've moved all this stuff. We'll go for a little bit fast. I'll kind of rant for a minute or two about this bus. The Maxxforce 7, which they used from 2012 all the way up, I think, until 2025 or 2020. Actually, I think the third gens they released in 2024. Or the prototype was released in 24. They was released to the actual public in 25. But I think, if I remember correctly, and I might be wrong on this, but I believe it was when they started producing the third gen CEs. I think that's when they switched to the Cummins ISB 6.7 liter, which is what the Thomas C2s have had since 2003, when they first started making them. I wish Bluebird would start putting the ISB 6.7 liters in their engines. I don't remember the exact engine that they use. I know it's a Cummins. I just can't remember the exact model of the exact model right off the top of my head. I'll have to do a Google search on that. But yeah, it'd be really cool to see a Bluebird Vision with a Cummins ISB. It'd be really nice to hear one, especially with the engine fan too. And I've always liked the Bluebird engine fans on their diesels, and I love the engine fans on the Godzilla propane buses now. Yeah, I'm more of a Bluebird purist rather than, I do actually like the C2s a lot. And I love the Bluebirds. And Lane will probably hate me for the rest of my life because I just said I like the Bluebird Vision, but I'm part serious, part jokingly. He doesn't care, I'm sure. Just as long as he's not on one, then we're fine. But he will drive one. I mean, if he has to, he said he really will drive one, but he'll probably he won't drive one without making 1,000 different roasts for the thing. That's just a slightly modified version of what he thinks of them. Lane thinks he despises the Bluebirds, and there was actually a video he did where I think it was, and I'll have to go back and look. I think it was the I think it was one of his more recent ones. I think, you know what? It was the video when he had Spearbus 23 when 99 had that turbo debacle. And I think it was a video titled, or it was the one with the thumbnail that said she's resting, where he was doing the, where he was showing 99, like where it was in the sick bay. And I think he found a vision from Coffee County. I think that's what it was, Coffee County. And he was like, what the heck is this, and what the heck are you doing here? It was so funny. If I find that video, I'll link it in the description as well. And also, I'll put in the timestamp where you can go to find that video, or where to find that exact point in the video. It's pretty funny. But yeah, he despises the Visions. He thinks they're ugly and all that stuff, which, I mean, they are kind of outdated, but, and Lane, if you are watching this video, and I'll probably tell him about it on Instagram too, the new evolved Bluebird Visions, which aren't really evolved that much, they now have an, you're gonna hate me for this, their steering wheels now have the options to have an airbag. Yes. Their steering wheels now come with an airbag from the factory. Yeah. That would just be freaking weird to see one on. I mean, seriously. I mean, I could, you know, I mean, I see the safety of that, you know, having an airbag in a school bus, but if you're going to give an airbag and have the driver, you know, have a little bit of safety, at least give the student safety, because there was one video I watched where the driver, you know, was safe with the airbag, and all the kids had, or I think all the kids on one row of the bus had the seat belts, while the other kids on the other row didn't. But apparently, because Bluebird, I think it's on all buses, seat belts are an option. If you get into a crash and you don't have a seatbelt, on a bus, and you flip, chances are your head's going through the roof. or through the windshield or whatever. And the driver's just gonna be sitting there, still strapped in with the airbag, like poosh. And I mean, like, you just got all these kids that are just rolling around your bus. Probably half of them are probably dead. I mean, if I'm going to make an airbag for the driver, while I know there are risks for having it with children, but I'm going to at least make seat belts like a standard on school buses. Like, if we're going to, and there's another C too. If we're going to make a bus with driver safety being an airbag in the steering wheel, we're going to at least make seatbelts not an option, but a standard on all school buses. Because why they decide to make seatbelts an option on school buses is beyond me. Well, actually, from my last rumor from it was that it's because, and I think it is true too, if you get into a crash and, you know, something like, let's say the bus, it's a propane and the bus blows up, or, you know, whatever, you get into a crash, you gotta get the kids out of there, and the seatbelts won't come off, and you gotta get the belt cutter. They say it's easier and it's quicker to just get them out without seatbelts, but if you're in a crash, all the kids are probably gonna be lucky to make it out alive anyway, because they're all probably gonna be flung into the front of the bus. So I don't know. I've got mixed opinions about that, but I mean, obviously this bus is loaded with, you know, safety features. No air conditioning though. Lane's also gonna hate me for that. This bus has no air conditioning. But no, I'm kidding. He's not gonna hate me for that. He doesn't care. But he won't like the fact it doesn't have air conditioning. But I mean, you know, I got the body fluid cleanup kit, and I think there's a first aid kit up there, and a fire extinguisher somewhere in here. I think it's in that compartment up there. And then I got the emergency triangles and all that stuff under there. I call it my emergency red box. It's just got safety triangles and I think some other stuff. Not a cone. It's got emergency stuff if you break down or you get a flat tire or something like that, and you're on the side of the road. But yeah, and from what I've heard, the school bus monikers up here are supposed to be backlit on the front and back. Does it work? No. Does it work on the internationals? Nope. Nope, it does not. This bus also has a backup camera, or had a backup camera. Where is it? Here it is. Does it work? Not all the time. No. Does the light check in this bus work? Absolutely not. Why would it? Is it a white top? Nope. Does it have a strobe light? Absolutely not. Why would it? It needs one, though. Or at one point, I think they had strobe lights and they didn't work, and then they took them out. So, there's the grill, bolted in. Normally, it's not like that. Normally, they're clipped in, but this one's just bolted in for some reason. I feel like this bus got a new hood at one point. Judging based on the fact that the headlights are clear and not foggy, and this bus is a 2017, and they bought the bus brand new, I'm judging this hood must be new. Clearly the bus was in some kind of accident at some point before I got it, but that's enough on the me ranting about buses and what have you. I'm not the best person to rant about a bus, but if you do want to, and I'm saying this in a nice, you know, funny way, if you do want to go see some bus renting and driving at the same time, you can go subscribe to the two channels that pop up here at the end of the video. They make great content. LMD and Bus Vibes, they make great content. But yeah, so I will see you guys in the next video. Like, subscribe, comment, and all the usual stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!